with the soft music. Yeah, welcome everyone. Today, our second topic, the theme is art of thinking today, which is a very important topic, as we all know, but maybe we'll go deeper today to understand how important it is. So, welcome everyone from wherever you are joining. I think people are still joining. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. And today we have this really honor and fortune to have Sister Dipti joining us from South Africa, Johannesburg. And she is the best to take us through this journey to art of thinking. As I can, agree to it, as I have met her many times. She is a nurturing leader, and her focus is to work with people in such a way that they feel loved, understood, valued, respected, and safe. That's so true. Like I have experienced myself, and everybody who meet with her experience it because of that true value that she brings out. And there's a deep connection with the art of thinking. So we are looking forward to it. She is Sister Dipti is the center coordinator at the Observatory Center for Brahma Kumari's World Spiritual University in Johannesburg since past 36 years. She is also the national coordinator for Living Values and Education programs for Southern Africa. She is also the youth coordinator and a part of core team for an international youth development program. She has done many workshops and programs for women, all kind of people, but more with extremely vulnerable people. She has that art to bring them to upliftment. So it's our fortune today to listen to her on the art of thinking. And before we go ahead, I will invite Sister Claudia to welcome her with flowers.
Om Shanti, good morning. It's springtime here.
Oh, wonderful.
In Vancouver, we have flowers already. In the other side, they still have snow. But here we have nice flowers.
Oh, beautiful.
Nice flowers for you.
Thank you.
With all the love from us.
Oh.
Thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
So welcome, Sister Dipti, from the whole team. Just want to mention there are few translations going on, including Turkish today. So please check it out. And after the talk for about maybe 40 minutes, there'll be question answer that Sister Dipti will address to. So please send any questions you may have to Dr. Manoj or myself. So it's all yours. Thank you, Sister Dipti.
Thank you so much. It's lovely to be with everyone again. And I was smiling this morning as I was saying to the sisters at the center that the topic today is the art of thinking. And one of the sisters reminded me and said, don't think. And I thought, yes, Daddy Janki used to say to us, you think too much, don't think. And it's so powerful just to understand this whole power of thought and how thought works and how to be able to navigate one's journey through the right art of thinking. And I think that at every point in our journey, thoughts do surface. But for me, the thinking process should be like a GPS, in a car. If the the thinking process is not in the right way, we may not reach our destination. And so I find it's very beautiful to be able to program my thinking in such a powerful way that my thoughts lead me to a destination. Many times people think too much, but go nowhere. They think, and at times they say, I have such a headache, I'm thinking too much. And so we see that at any point in my journey of time, I will be thinking, but how beautiful it is. And this is what I have learned, that I need to allow my thoughts to navigate my destination, because thoughts are a pathway to support a destination. If I think in a certain way, that's the reality I create. If I think in a certain way, that will be the destination I reach. And so every morning I find the art of thinking comes from a space where, before I can even think about thoughts that support my day, I need to ask myself the first level, and that is, where do I want to be? At the end of each day, at the end of my journey, at the end of any situation that I'm in, I need to ask myself the question, where do I want to be? And when I have a clear idea where I want to be, maybe if I'm in a workplace, then at the end of the day, I say, I want to be in a space where I'm still calm in my mind, I'm empowered and I'm energetic, and I'm not overwhelmed by the day. If I'm in a situation of a health issue and I have to face something, then I have to ask myself, where do I want to be? No matter what it is that I'm going through, at the end of the day, I should feel supported. I should feel there's a healing energy, and I should feel that I'm looked after deeply. I need to ask myself in many areas of my life, where do I want to be and what it is that I want to create as my ultimate experience. Because if I don't visualize or take into account what it is that I want to experience at the end of the day, then I won't be feeding my mind with the right quality of thoughts. Very often, in many situations, the thoughts just come, and we allow those thoughts to take lead and create the experience. Whereas at the end of the day, it works the other way around. The person who has the art of thinking will ask themselves, what experience do I want? And according to the experience I want as the result of my thinking will be the way in which I will feed my thoughts. And so, sometimes people will say things like, think the right thoughts, but right in what context? What is the right thought? But when I have a context to my thinking, when I have a context to the experience I want to create, then I'm able to feed it in the right way, the level of thoughts. And I think that even before I can create thoughts, there are deeper aspects that support my thinking process. So, for example, for me, I think a foundation energy that I hold deeper is faith. So if I hold faith about myself, about God, about the situation, then though that base energy is right, then my level of thoughts is going to be very much in line with that. So if, for example, I don't have deep faith in myself, or I don't have faith that God is there for me, or I don't have faith that life is supporting me, then if a situation comes, then my mind will automatically be flooded with a variety of thoughts. And those thoughts we may call waste thoughts or negative thoughts. And those thoughts will not support my journey. But if my journey has that deep level of faith, then along the way, I'll be able to use my thinking in such a way that I will support myself. I think in today's world, the art of thinking has become so critical because we're living in such an atmosphere of fear, of rapid change, an atmosphere in which things around us are so dynamically moving that can trigger so many different thoughts in our mind. And so it's like the speed around me is fast. The speed below me is rapid. The atmosphere around me can be quite challenged. But in the midst of that, there's many things that can happen, but I have to hold the reins of my thoughts. If I don't hold the reins and the thread of my thoughts, then those situations are going to take over. And so we see more and more in today's time the importance and the art of creating the right thoughts. I often think about the art of thinking as having a painting that's created on a wall. When you look at a painting that's created on the wall, ultimately the painter wants to create a beautiful image that he has envisioned in his mind. But in that, there will be different strokes, there'll be different shades, there'll be different colors, there will be blank spaces, there'll be bright spaces, so many things that will ultimately create the picture. And the similar journey with my thinking. My thinking has to be an art. You know, today in the world, when you develop something as an art, you develop the mastery of it. You develop the art to use it in a certain way. And so very often people just allow their thoughts to take over. But when I learned that the art of thinking is my choice in every situation of my life, then I would very carefully choose the kind of thoughts that would like to flow within my journey. I think today when we look at the world around us, there are so many variety of conversations. And the media creates a certain flow of thought. People around us create a certain flow of thought. And how to create thoughts of calmness in times of chaos. I think it's really an art. Whether you're at home, whether you're in your workplace, whether you're in places where there's a variety of energies that are mixing with each other. To stay calm allows me to be able to manage my thoughts in a very powerful way. Yeah, it's like when a situation comes up in somebody's life, people will say to them, stay calm, stay calm. So to stay calm doesn't mean that I'm not thinking. Sometimes people say, oh, if I'm calm, then how am I going to get anything done? But that's not calmness. Calmness is where there's a flow of a variety of thoughts, and I'm managing them to create a proper flow. When the negative thoughts and the thoughts of anger and the thoughts of hatred or the thoughts of my ego are jumping, and a situation may be making me unsettled, then to stay calm means to be able to navigate these thoughts from a space of faith, to navigate those thoughts from a space of peace, to navigate those thoughts from a space of truth, to navigate those thoughts from a space of wisdom. And when I know how to navigate my thoughts from the right space, then my thoughts will be calm. I can't just say create positive thoughts or create very good thoughts. I need to fill myself with right understanding. I think today in life, whether it is about the self, people say, think right thoughts about yourself. Don't be so negative about who you are. But you cannot create right thoughts about yourself until you've understood who you are. And so very often there's a beautiful understanding in the Brahma Kumaris, which I have always found so, so helpful. And one of the things that we learn a lot is deep truths and understandings about who we are. And the whole journey of understanding the true self beyond all the masks that we wear in our day-to-day life. And when I'm able to really understand myself and recognize who I am, then the level of thoughts that I will have about myself will be very different. So if there's a deep investment in the self, a deep, deep investment in how I've recognized who I am, and I've accepted myself for who I am, which is deep work that I have to do inside, then that develops a state of what we call self-respect. And when you have self-respect, then you develop a very beautiful art of navigating your thoughts, no matter how people talk to you or how situations come. If somebody has not settled into a deep space of self-respect, somebody may say something little to that person, and they will have a flood of thoughts. I'm not good enough. How could you have said that? You don't know me. So all kinds of doubts may come. All types of negative feelings may emerge. So many things appear in that journey. Because remember, the power of the mind, which is where the thoughts are created, comes in many ways. Comes in forms of thoughts, feelings, ideas, imagination. Many things come up. So if I don't have an investment in myself, if I don't invest in the security and stability of who I am, and have a natural state of self-respect, then my thoughts will never be steady. That's the time when I will be loved by people in my life. One of the deep checking I used to always do for myself, and I do it very often, even till today, is I ask myself, Dipti, did you live your day today? Or did your day live you today? And if I'm saying that my day lived me today, It means that everyone else's thoughts took over and navigated my destination. And yet, if I have lived today, means I took charge of my thoughts. And so, often people say that, well, you have to start somewhere where we can start thinking in the right way. And they use the power of thought to try and come to an understanding. But I learned something very powerfully in the Brahma Kumaris, that I've received beautiful teachings about myself, about God, about destiny. And I have taken time to understand these teachings. And as I've taken time to understand these teachings, they have taught me the art of thinking. When you don't know something and you're trying to think yourself through it, you're playing a loose game. Sometimes you'll be in a good space. Sometimes you're not so sure of yourself. Sometimes the situation can take over, and then your thoughts are heavy. And that is not healthy. So when I start from a space of wisdom being shared with me, and I have deep acceptance of that wisdom, then my thinking can be navigated. So if I have to say to anyone, if they say, how do I think the right thought at the right time, in the right way, to create the right experience? I would often say that starts from a higher space. Let wisdom guide you to your truth. And as wisdom guides you to your truth, the thoughts you'd feed yourself to fill that truth will be a beautiful one. And I feel that in today's world right now, this art of thinking has become a very, very important art. Because if I don't think the right thoughts at the right time, in the right way, to create the right impact, there's damage. Because afterwards, you can't really change it. Daddy Janki, one of my truly a real mentor in my life's journey, had said that when something happens, don't let it sit in your heart. Before it even sits in your heart, clean it out. Don't let that thought settle so deep that you get disheartened. Because when you do get disheartened, it's very, very difficult then to shift that energy. And so the art of thinking is to be able to step into the right thoughts before you cause damage to yourself. Don't let the situations in your life take you so far that afterwards you're trying to put a band-aid on it to try and solve the problem. Or you're now trying to mediate and recover from the problem, because that space is already then stained by negative thoughts. And so it's so beautiful to know for myself, one of the deepest understandings I've learned about for my journey is that I have the power of peace, and I have the power of love, and I have the power of purity, and I have spiritual power, and I have an energy of bliss in my life. These are the learnings I have deep inside of me that this is part of my spiritual DNA. So when I have this already in my resource kit, this is who I am, then the art of thinking is to allow the thoughts to emerge from that reservoir, rather than allowing the thoughts to emerge from the external. It's such a beautiful space for me. I see it like a fountain. You know, the fountain has below it all the water. And it is that water that is coming up from below, from deep inside, that's creating all the beauty of the fountain. It's not the external, it's the internal. And so when I know what is already in my reservoir, what is deeply in my DNA of the soul, and I keep tapping into that and allow my thoughts to come from that space, then that is called authentic thinking. You know, the other day somebody was saying to me that, you know, AI has taken over everything. And I thought, yes, for me, I've learned what is not that AI, but for me, it's authentic intelligence. We develop an authentic intelligence through wisdom. And in that space of authentic intelligence, in our wisdom as such, it's amazing what begins to happen. And so then we create the quality of thoughts in our life's journey that comes from such an amazing space, actually. And so really, firstly, about the self. And as my sister Anu was sharing, that for me, I find that these 5 principles of my life are very important, that I feel in life I need to be, and I need to give the experience of being loved, understood, valued, respected, and safe. These are 5 amazing base energies that I operate from. And in that journey of being a base, I find that the art of thoughts that come from that space can be quite incredible. I think especially in today's world that we live in, the deepest gift we can give to any person is the right atmosphere that I'm creating. You know, sometimes there can be such chaos somewhere and such uncertainty. But do my thoughts create an atmosphere of peace where when I'm just in that company, people feel loved, they feel understood? I may not have to say anything in words. I may not have to convince them of anything. But as I create those right thoughts in my mind, it makes people feel loved. It makes them feel understood. It makes them feel valued, respected, and safe. And so, like as I started off in the beginning, I need to ask myself, where is it that I want to be? And what is it that I want to hold? I feel right now in the world, our art of thinking has to be such that it elevates the spirit of humanity. People have lost a lot of hope. There's so much of fear. There's so much of uncertainty. And my art of thinking My art of being has to be one that elevates lives, where it creates that deep, deep sense of hope. And so I need to go very deep inside myself and just ask myself, how much am I using the right quality of thoughts that elevates? And this is a very, very beautiful energy. And to understand that the art of thinking doesn't come from just the way I think, but what I've allowed to stay in my being. Like one of the practices I find for myself that has helped me a lot in my life, no matter what time of the evening it may be, and I may be tired and I feel I just want to go and sleep, but I always make sure that at night I write a letter. For me, I write a letter to God. Even if sometimes I'm so exhausted and only the word good has been written in my book, and probably the book has fallen onto my face as I went to sleep, but I've written something. Because what you clear out as your thoughts at night will allow your subconscious to be clean. Because your thoughts of the morning, which are your most powerful thoughts that can be there, are very much influenced by your subconscious mind. And so, very often people say in the morning, I want to start my day and I want to create the right thoughts. But those thoughts actually start at night, of how much I hand over those thoughts to God. I hand over and I digest what has happened and I free myself from that. Because if things are sitting deeply in your subconscious, even though you want to navigate a space of elevated thoughts, they are going to be always an influence and an interference that's going to be there. And so to be able to release that, one of our teachings that said, make the past the past. And again, it's such an important aspect. One is how I clear out every day, but the other is also how much I clear out the baggage of the past. My past is always going to be a shadow of this moment. And if I don't clear that past, the shadow will not go away. And so I need to look deeply. And, you need silence for that. You need honesty for that. I love what Daddy Janki left us with 3 words. 3 words that Daddy Janki from the Brahma Kumaris left us with very powerfully. Satyata, Safaita, Sadki. To be honest, to be simple, and to be clean. Yeah. Satyata, Safaita, and Sadki. To be honest, to have that deep sense of cleanliness, and to have simplicity. And really to clean out that past. Many of us may be going to have a long weekend next weekend, I don't know. But I know in the foreign countries here with Easter coming up, it gives us a nice opportunity for a long weekend. And if you don't have too many other urgent demands placed on you, make this a very beautiful weekend to do a beautiful clean out for yourself. So that like on Monday, on Easter Monday, there's a birth of a new beginning. Very beautiful. Let that past be the past, because my thoughts of the past are always going to influence the way I am thinking right now. And so the art of creating happy thoughts, thoughts that elevate my life, the thoughts that will take me to my destination, is all possible when I do the deeper work inside. And so for me, it's 3 levels as we spoke about. Firstly, in order to create that reservoir of thoughts, allow yourself to be filled with godly knowledge, or what we call wisdom, whatever you are comfortable with, so that you have the right reservoir of thoughts. It's like all the paint that you got for your beautiful art piece. So all the knowledge that we have received is like all the different shades of paint that you can have to paint on your canvas of life. And then you choose from that those colors that you need for your specific painting. And then you take time each day and you build on it. But what does the artist have to do? Every now, regularly, the artist has to wash the brush. Because they don't wash the brush, you're not going to get the right color and shade. And so all the other experiences and residues of life that are there, we need to wash them away. Yeah. And as I wash them away in a very deep level, they will allow me to create the right picture. I really love this art of thinking. I was thinking a lot about thinking. And I kept saying to myself, don't think. But really, because I think today in the world, it's about creating the right vibration. We are in a world where we can give people the gift of beautiful vibrations. And where does vibrations come from? Thoughts. What you think over a period of time is what you vibrate. Your thoughts are like a magnet, and that magnet will draw a similar energy to your magnetic field. So if your magnet is positive and powerful, then you will draw good energies to yourself. But when that magnet is negative, then it will draw many situations to yourself. It's a beautiful topic. I love it, but I will be silent now, and I'm happy to engage with you.
Yeah, thank you so much. It is such deep points. Washing the brush away, making it fresh. So that's amazing, and so many points. But I think there may be a few questions. I will hand it over to Dr. Manoj. Brother.
Thank you so much, Sister Anu. And yeah, interesting. So a few questions have popped up. First question is all about the mind, because thoughts out of thinking, we can't not speak about the mind and get away. So the first question at Brahma Kumari is, it's a very beautiful culture or tradition of serving through the mind that is called Mansa Seva. So do you want to expand on this, that what is serving through the mind? Because I can't even really take care of my art of thinking. How will I really serve through the mind? So what is the process?
You know, in life, it's all about having the right intention. And I think that when you hold the right intention, you don't have to be perfect to do the work you need to do. And another beautiful aspect to understand is I can be an instrument. And when I'm an instrument, then I can be used. And I think these two ingredients are very powerful ingredients to be able to use the opportunity to serve through the mind. I think that when I believe that I am an instrument for God, or I'm an instrument to create, to serve through my mind, then even if I myself may not be in the highest state of the best energy field, but I invite God's energy to support me. I find every time that you invite God's energy to support you, you are the first recipient of that. So, like I find very often when I'm meditating or I'm in a surrounding where I really have to serve in through my mind because the situation may be quite delicate, then I invite God to fill me with that peace, His peace, that ocean of peace. And I welcome that peace, even if my mind can't hold it too long because I'm not yet perfect in the way I meditate, but I just invite that energy. And I hold a pure heart, because that's what intention is about. And when those two aspects work together, I find there's a beautiful flow of energy from you. I've personally experienced this at times when I've wanted to create the most powerful thoughts and my mind got distracted due to other things around me. And then I just said to God that this situation requires me to serve and I need to give my best in this energy. And I just let Dipti dissolve and I just become an instrument. And I really allow God's energy to support me. And this is how we serve through our mind. When I think I have to give, then there's so much limitation. Then our capacity becomes so limited. But serving through the mind means really to become a vessel. Once a child asked me at school, when I was a school teacher, "Ma'am, what are you?" And I said, "What do you mean, what I am?" She said, like, "Look at any object here around us and tell me, what are you?" And it was so beautiful that I saw a hose pipe. You know, a hose pipe? I don't know, you call hose pipes, where you water the garden and that with a hose pipe. And I said to the child, "I'm a hose pipe." And she said, "What?" I said, "I'm a hose pipe." Because I really felt that was the experience, that I can connect myself to the tap, but I can also be used to take water where it's not so easily reached. So the hose pipe made it easier. And I loved that analogy. I was always thankful to that child for asking me that question. Because for me, it is, and when a hose pipe is not in use, it's just folded up and put away. And the beauty about hose pipes is when they are well used, they don't crack so quickly. So it's like when I allow my energies to be used properly, then I stay more sustained and managed.
Wonderful. Speaking of energies, it reminds me of Dadi Janki because all of us remember her so much. She was one of our previous administrative heads for people who don't know. So it reminds me a story. I'll just share it in very brief. One of the sisters, she gave some work and the sister said, "Dadi, I'm very busy." And Dadi really gave her a stern look and said, "You should never say that word, I am busy." So now in this day and age of technology, mobile phones, people really show off their WhatsApp statuses by writing not only busy, but always busy. So I mean, that is the cause of not being able to have a right thinking, right? They need to really learn the art of right thinking. So, like every word has an energy. So, what is this energy of busy and easy, and how do we develop the energy of being easy? Is it so easy to become easy?
When I drop the ego, yes. So it's my busyness is, and I always ask myself, busy with what? What is it that I'm really busy with? What am I trying to prop up all the time so that I'm okay? It's like, Daddy would always say that whenever anyone is in front of you, they should feel that you are available. And sometimes when we show that we're too busy, we either hiding something so that we don't have to show the fullness of who we are, or we sometimes insecure, and so we create a certain image that creates a feeling that don't bother me too much because I'm busy. But the soul that is genuine will be a soul that's always available. And I think people in your life don't need quantity time from you, but they need quality time from you. And if you are genuine, your one moment with that person can satisfy them, that they won't need the next 35 or 40 minutes of your time. But when you don't offer the fullness of who you are, then you have to be busy because you have to give them a lot more time. And really, I find in life, it's not about quantity, it's about quality. And when you live your life of quality, you'll be an easy yogi. You'll be an easy person. When you make anything quality well, you can use it in a relaxed way. When you don't invest in its quality deeply, you have to look after it because the sign or the possibility of it breaking will be great. So don't be busy, be easy. And if you're too busy, drop the ego and you'll naturally be easy.
Thank you so much. And in lieu of this, I'll just take the last question because our time is running out. One quick question and a quick fix. Someone is saying, I don't have time for 7-day Raj Yoga meditation, which you all promote at the Brahma Kumaris. Can you just tell me a quick fix? How do I learn meditation quickly, a shortcut to meditation?
Yeah, life is not a quick fix. If it was, I think we live in a microwave generation where everything means to be a quick fix. But if I have to share with you a quick fix, then I suggest to the person that every day, 10 times a day, just have one thought: I'm a peaceful soul. Just every day, just this one thought: I'm a peaceful soul. And create it properly. If you don't want to be too busy learning, just keep saying this one thought, because this thought is going to bring many good energies to you. And then you will have time after that.
Fantastic. So we should revise and remind them Om Shanti, right? So thank you so much for sharings. And I'll now request Sister Claudia to do the official vote of thanks. Over to Sister Claudia. Thank you.
Mr. Dipti, was so nice to hear you speaking, especially because you give your way of doing things you give some explanation based on what you use in life. So it is very nice, like say in the night when you write, you clean. We know that, but there's so many times we kind of forget to clean at nighttime. But like we never leave the sink full of dirty dish. We need to clean before you go to bed. We need to clean our dish here too. So, so it was very nice how you explained that part. And also at the end, when you talk about the microwave, it's very nice, a fast fix. So your way of thinking is wonderful because we can understand very easy. Thank you so much for being with us today and helping us to understand how important the thoughts are. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Claudia. And before we move on to a meditation experience with Sister Dipti, let's quickly go through the upcoming programs, the announcements. So this is a new series, Art for Life. I also got a question today that can you explain why it's the same topic and few sessions? So the idea is that the first session is an eye-opening or bringing attention to the topic, the art of living. And we get so many methods today from Sister Dipti, but then it's a short session so that we can retain more. And then the next one would be an inner reflection. So going deeper into the inner reflections on the art with yet another Raj Yogi meditator. So we'll have Sister Judy Johnson in the second session on 19th of April, same time. And after that, also we do the workshop on the same topic so that everybody we will do in reflective exercises. And in that, everybody can share their view and understanding about the topic. So it is about breaking down the sessions into 4 sessions, kind of, where we can retain more and take it on a practical level to our life. And after the workshop, we do a silence retreat on the same art so that we can, review through what we got out of it. So wanted to just explain. So we'll all look forward to see you all in the next session on 19th of April. And you can check us out on our websites, vihasa.in and vancouver.brahmakumaris.ca. Our emails are here. You can check us out there. Our YouTube channels will have all the videos. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sister. If you can take us. Oh, before we go for meditation, it's a ritual to have a virtual photograph. Everybody looks forward to have it. Make this moment memorial with Sister Dipti. So you can open your video. Let's take a beautiful photo with that highest vibration from the heart. Such great ideas, methods we got today. So anyone who is still thinking, you can open your video now. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Dipti will hand it over to you for a meditation experience.
So I invite you to just sit in a relaxed position. Allow your hands to be unclenched and just allow your thoughts to come into a space of stillness. In this past hour, many thoughts may have been generated in my mind. Thoughts that will allow me to grow. Thoughts that will allow me to see things differently. And thoughts that will allow me to pack up that which serves me no longer. I stay very present in this moment and know that deep within, I have the reservoir of the purest energy. I am peace. I hold love. I am pure. I am powerful. And I vibrate joy. In the stillness of this moment, I awaken these energies that are deep within my being. And as these qualities awaken in either soul, they express themselves as beautiful vibration of thoughts. My thoughts come in resonance. The thoughts of peace come in resonance with God's peace, God's love, God's purity. And this energy becomes stronger and brighter. I allow this inner core of my being to express itself with the highest frequency in God's presence. My thoughts are few, but they're powerful. They're filled with love and recognition. And as these thoughts become close to God's energy, they vibrate into the world. My every thought of peace, touched by God's peace, becomes a gift of peace to the world. I stay in this powerful presence. I hold these powerful thoughts. And with the power of my being, in the presence of God, a whole new atmosphere becomes a gift to the world. I stay with this experience. Om Shanti. Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dipti. Thank you so much. It was wonderful.
To everyone. See you again next week. Thank you, Sister Dipti. You're taking really in our hearts. Very, very beautiful experience and vibrations.
Thank you.